The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hi everybody, welcome to another Tokutalk.
Hi, how are you? How's the family? We're talking about Kamen Rider Anniversaries today.
We are.
Woo.
We talked about, decade in review and everything, but mostly we're just really focusing on the ones that Kamen Rider actually designated as an anniversary of the series in some way, shape, and or form. So, on the docket, we got Zekros, Kabuto, Decade, Forze, and Gio.
Mm-hmm.
So we got those. Let's talk about the one that's short first, Zekros, because it exists only as a special.
Okay.
Refresh my brain. Which one was this again?
Zekros?
Yeah.
The orange one who was supposed to be a ninja.
I was going to say, wasn't he technically the first ninja one?
Yeah, but he was a ninja for all of 15 seconds.
I don't remember much about this
no
one.
No one does. The
only thing I remember about it is how everyone yelled at us in the comments for pronouncing his name wrong.
Oh, I know. We did a ZX, and I kept doing it on purpose. It exists.
It does.
As a special.
Was this the first time we had all of the Kamen Riders on screen together like this?
I think it was everything up to that point, which I believe just included up to Super 1.
Yeah, because I know V3 had Kamen Rider 1 and 2 on there, didn't they?
And Stronger had them all at the end of his show.
Yeah, so wasn't really
I guess you're not that special then.
Nope.
Zekros one wasn't very good. 2, it really didn't leave much of an impression. It was just a special in between shows.
It felt just like that, a special in between shows. It's, hey, here's all these characters and here's a new toy for the kids. I don't know. Fight stuff.
Enjoy,
I guess.
It was just the one special. It was maybe an hour. It didn't really do anything, just a movie. So really we could just skip. And go straight on to Kabuto, which...
Well, actually, Kamen Rider Black RX was the 15th anniversary.
Oh, right. They did appear at the end of that show.
Did they now?
That's how we got the whole... one of the writers being Amazons in the U.S. because of Mass Rider.
Yeah.
And them mixing all the names up somehow.
Then there was the 20th anniversary, and I don't recognize these logos.
That was Shin.
Shin,
Zio.
We can talk about Shin for a bit if you want.
I think it was the Shin manga that came out on the 20th anniversary, and the movie came out 2 years later.
Yeah, because I think it's supposed to come out sooner, and it got delayed.
Then there was Kamen Rider Jay.
That Kamen Rider Shin movie is still not bad.
It's still a good one.
The idea of taking Kamen Rider but turning it into an actual monster movie, I still think is really cool. Where he actually turns into an insect monster.
Kamen Rider Ultraman was the 25th anniversary.
Right, that was also a brief thing. Where Kamen Rider and Ultraman met each other in the movie.
No, I was making a joke at Kamen Rider Jay.
There's also the Kamen Rider Ultraman thing.
I did not know that. I was making a joke.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Kamen Rider Agito was the 30th anniversary.
They didn't really...
Doesn't really feel like an anniversary,
No,
though.
I'm just letting you know, because Kabuto was the 35th anniversary of Kamen Rider.
The Kabuto one makes more sense because they actually did things at the end of some of the episodes, just like they did with Bokenger that year, where they had them sitting in that theater, and Chindo's saying that in English, stronger might be strong, but I'm the strongest. I just remember that scene.
Because of course it did.
Kore wa stronger, ore wa strongest.
Next was Decade for the Heisei 10th anniversary.
Is there anything else we want to say about Kabuto before we move on to Decade?
As an anniversary, not really.
It really didn't do much for an anniversary. I think some of the things that it did, because it had the same bug as the motif of the suit that Stronger did.
Right.
Which is where they did that in the thing.
But I feel like the first...
But, hold on. Because it really didn't do anything in show proper outside of just... That's the suit! They just had those specials. Just like Bokenger did that year. After the episode was over, and only on some of them, because they did not do a lot, they just had... This happened in the past. Somewhere else.
So I feel like the first legitimate anniversary season of Kamen Rider is Decade that was a full-on celebration. Now, unfortunately, it was only a celebration of Heisei to that point.
Although it did do...
A celebration of Heisei to that point, but it's a weird celebration in that they don't use any of the actual Heisei
actors
or characters themselves?
They used to. They use Kiba and they use Blade.
Same characters, different actors. Though I think Blade was the same actor.
No, they used Kiba showed up at the very beginning of the show and like later on as well.
As a kid.
No, with the same actor.
Oh, right.
And then Blade shows up and beats the shit out of Tsukasa.
Which was
Blade
fun.
King form. But outside of that, Decade was just like, we're going to be a celebration of the suits.
Yeah.
That's actually a better way to look at it, because the characters themselves, who you've maybe come to know and love over the past 10 years, they're not here.
It was no Gokaiger.
They're not here.
Then there was the 40th anniversary overall.
Decade as a whole, just as an anniversary, and even just like taken as its own thing, it just feels so sloppy.
Oh, it was.
It feels so haphazard, like they didn't know where they wanted to take it. So many things, so many plot threads that are just left dangling, like who is Narutaki? Why the Rider War? Why is he the pariah of destruction?
The only thing
I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
The only thing they knew that they wanted to take it is that we have to end this story short, so both Rider and Sentai don't end up having the overlapping toy schedule at the same time anymore.
Jeez.
That's why
we'll kind of resolve it in a movie later.
And then we got that preview for that episode that didn't happen.
Yeah. And then we got a movie eventually,
and then we got Kamen Rider Forze. Ish.
O's and Forze.
Yeah.
O's had the movies.
O's had the movies. Forze was the actual 40th Kamen Rider.
And even then, they didn't do much with that.
No, they didn't.
Well, they changed its original plot.
Yeah.
Because originally it was going to be the Kamen Rider Club at high school, and they were going to go, and it was going to be like Gokaiger, where they go around and they meet returning actors, returning characters, and they help them with their problems, and then he learns lessons from the Kamen Riders of old, and then they were like, yeah, that's a little too similar to Decade, let's scrap it and make it its own thing, which honestly I think worked out for the better.
For better or for worse. Outside of the anniversary stuff, no, but inside of the anniversary stuff, yeah.
That's the thing, as an anniversary, I don't know that it works, but in terms of just a show, yeah, I think it works.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff they did that was like really big anniversary stuff, they did it in the O's All Riders versus Daishocker one. And, I think that definitely didn't help Forze at all, but I feel like they were probably just a movie that
I thought was really good the first time I watched it, and then rewatching it again for the channel, I was like, oh, this isn't that good. It's okay, but it's not that great.
Which is?
What was okay?
You're talking about the O's All Riders?
Yeah, All Riders.
Yeah, that movie was... Oof.
Speaking of anniversary movies, we have Gaim as the Heisei 15th anniversary, and that was the Heisei versus Showa movie.
They shot two endings,
and they were both shit-tastic. That movie was not good.
Well, they were both either Heisei wins or Showa wins, but at the end of the day, they're okay. And then Narutaki comes out and says, "Honore Takedo, why are Kamen Riders so
cool?" Awesome? I hated that movie.
I don't know, Narutaki. Why are you here?
That movie was hot garbage.
Speaking of hot garbage.
Sad hot garbage.
The 45th anniversary of Kamen Rider overall was between Ghost and X-Aid.
They sort of did something for them. This is when they sort of started putting out all of those
Kamen Rider
forms. And stuff. Like, yeah, they always end up having, like, the items and things.
The first one that I remember was in Gaim.
I remember Wizard.
Where they had the lock seeds.
Yeah, I remember the ones from Gaim. They had them in the O's Forza movie, Mega Max. Because that's how they got them out and everything. I just remember them using the medals and stuff. So just like, we're just going to have all of the old riders and put them into the new riders' collectibles.
And I remember with the Wizard ring, the Kamen Rider rings that summon the Kamen Rider.
Which she ended up using again later on in the show.
Yeah. I'd still love that with Gaim's entrance in that special. What's a Kamen Rider? Oh, I guess I'm a Kamen Rider too. What's up, bitch? I'm gonna kick all your asses. Though I do still love, I'm actually Decade, so deal with it.
That was still the best. Like, they summoned him.
They summoned him, but they actually summoned the real him.
And which is a problem for them.
I just love him coming out of his suit, sunglasses on.
He did do that.
Yep.
Oh my! I love.
For all we know, Decade was just taking a walk.
And that
You're
He
just
was
like,
just
all right.
taking a walk. He had some sunglasses on. He was just out and about, and then all of a sudden, what?
like, yes, the
I guess this is
decade.
my life now.
Once again, the decade show, not great, but goddamn it, Tsukasa just coming back to do whatever. I love that man.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Yes.
after that was ZO, the 20th anniversary
Now,
of Heisei.
let's talk about this one. I know we just did a review on it. The show was
So
one,
what else is there left to say?
not great. Two, didn't even do the anniversaries well. It seems like, and I know it's unfair, but we basically just end up always comparing the anniversary to either Gokaiger or Mebius as the baseline.
Sounds fair. But they can't all be Gokaiger or Mebius.
Or Zenkaiger now.
No, they can't.
Where that show, every show, I haven't cried laughing at a show in a long time. The most recent episode of Gokaiger, the Halloween episode, might be one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It was so good.
Okay.
Love that.
I thought you were going to
episode.
bring up the goddamn Jetman thing again.
No, that's also perfect. There's no getting the romance episodes at 10, but that Halloween episode was just full of gags, and I loved it.
According to the Kamen Rider wiki, Saber was on 50,
Saber's number 50.
even though they're celebrating 50 with the following,
Yeah,
with the current Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Revice.
they
thank
seem
you.
to do that pretty much every time. Like if the year falls on, it'll end up falling on late into the show prior.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like, we'll just dedicate the entirety.
I think it has to do with just the way these things are planned out.
Yeah, it sort of came out just as
Because they're probably brainstorming Saber by the time the previous one is still
by
airing.
the time Zio's done.
Yeah.
I would also point out that let's talk about Revice as an anniversary, since you brought up Zenkaiger. It seems to be very decade-like, but without being blatant about it. All of his forms are based off of past.
It's more Easter eggs than,
Yeah.
at least from what I've seen, it's more Easter eggs than it is an actual, like,
anniversary.
here is the thing, anniversary celebration.
Oh yeah, no, and I think that works.
But they also give a reason as to why, because George, the creator of the stamps, is a big Rider fan.
Mhm.
The character is?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So wait a minute, does that mean in the Revice world, Kamen Rider exists as a shell, and Kamen Rider Revice is the first real life Kamen Rider? Or am I overthinking this?
Yeah, you're overthinking it.
I don't care. It's a funny thing to think
He
about.
makes a good point.
It's a funny thing to think about, though.
Yeah. Because
Because, of course, the first actual real life Kamen Rider would be a dinosaur.
Well, I think it's because they actually exist. Saber did some weird stuff at the end of it with time shenanigans and rewriting the actual story.
Oh, fantastic.
so because the humor gear apparently appears at the end of Saber from 01.
Mhm.
So time shenanigans, world shenanigans, decade, it's all somehow
Just blame Decade. Just blame Decade. It's all his fault somehow.
Can we do, because I don't want to have to suffer through this alone, can we do like a viewing party for Saber? Because I don't know if I can watch it alone and not kill myself.
That seems a little drastic.
No.
Maybe you two can. I already, two can Sam, but more than likely I might have I have to finish it and not happy about that. I just know I have to do it eventually.
Same.
It'll end up being after 01. That's all I care about.
Fair enough. We should live stream us watching some Kamen Rider episodes. I think that might be fun.
I don't want to have to go through the pain.
Of figuring that out or getting demonetized immediately.
That.
Anyway.
But yeah, as the anniversary season is going forward, it's like, what do we really want to see? Yeah, we have rewrites going on right now.
Mhm.
I think if you're going to do it,
I think my favorite is, and when it comes to Kamen Rider anniversaries, I think Easter eggs is the best way to go. I think Revice is doing it pretty damn well.
don't make it so
Blatant.
And don't make it like the Overcourt's movie where it's just like, it's all about the Heisei Riders. I know they could do that a little bit more in the movies, but it's just like they also did it in Zio, the show. So it never felt like the show really had a story going on for it.
It was just how... and I will say Gokaiger did this great, but Gokaiger did also have this problem sometimes. Yet you're doing this balancing act of paying proper respect and homage to what came before and giving that the credit it deserves, but at the same time you gotta balance giving what you're making now its own identity.
So it's more of way of
Gokaiger did a good balancing act of that, but there were times it tilted over towards the fan service-y.
So it's
side.
more of a way of thinking.
I don't know that I agree with that because I think that show worked.
I'm not saying it didn't, but I feel like I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunities to give some of the characters in Gokaiger their own identity. There weren't a lot of character-focused episodes for some of the actual Sentai members that we are now meeting, and because we had every other episode was dedicated to a previous Sentai.
True.
I just think we could have learned more about Ahim or Doc or Luca, especially Luca and Ahim, because like they got next to no character development.
Yeah, it's weird because a lot of Vikings happen in one
Episode.
But I feel like if you're going to do it, you just got to really learn how to incorporate it better, which is why we always call movies like pretty much gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
Because that story was just like, let's build off of, instead of just do straight up homage. Have every episode be about something else. It's like, let's have their own story, but if we're going to do it, have other people come in so you can learn from the stories and their past experiences.
I think Revice is doing a good job at just paying homage to the previous writers, but still having its own identity.
I think one of the best ways that actually happened was the Live Man episode of Gokaiger. Mm-hmm. Because of the two Joes and what Yellow Lion had already been through. Mm-hmm. You know, with Mazinda throwing herself off a cliff after being turned into a robot.
I don't know that Kamen Rider has had a good anniversary season yet. In terms of anniversary celebration, I don't think it's done a good one yet.
We can't really put Revice up anywhere because the show just started.
Because it's still going on.
I'm saying I think it's doing a good job so far.
Yeah, with it being a lot more subtle and just actually really built into the show.
It's either more subtle or it's just, or in the case of Decade, where it's just not good, and they take it in a direction where I don't think it suits the story.
No, it really didn't, and I feel like there were times with Decade I feel like I was getting beaten over the head with a bat that was labeled Kamen Rider.
This happened.
It's like, it's Kamen Rider Ryuki, aired in 2003.
But it's also not, because they changed it up.
Yeah. What was it? Law. That's what the whole thing was a legal process.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think that's all I have to say about that.
Same.
As well.
So let us know what you guys think in the comments down below. Mm-hmm. Follow us on all the things. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the like button as well. And punch the bell, blah, 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 YouTube bullshit. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for watching.